Yeah, kind of. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, sir. Hi. You said this was from Congressman Bill Erectus's office?
Yes, my name is Michael. I understand that you participated in the town hall last night, but you weren't able to ask your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being on, and just wanted to call and follow up, see if I can answer any of your questions.
Yeah, what was your name?
Michael.
Michael. My name's Corey Adoff. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I had called a couple months ago when Bill 5087 was in place from Rick Scott, where you have to be 21 to buy a firearm, basically a rifle, which basically means it's the same thing as the handguns. I grew up hunting. I don't think it's right. I mean, obviously, they're doing right now in Seattle and Oregon and all the liberal states. They're actually taking guns from people who have quote unquote mental issues, or if their leftist neighbors say they saw him with a gun in the backyard. They're actually taking guns from people right now, and this is actually happening right now in Pinellas County. In Pinellas County, there's a 5-man hit squad, basically a confiscation team that's actually coming out and taking people's guns. And I would be listed as one of them because I actually have a Baker Act, even though I'm a sane member of society. I got in trouble a while back. I had smoked spice and something happened. I was on Chantix, and I got labeled as a Baker Act. I mean, it's so easy to Baker Act someone here in the state of Florida. It's ridiculous that you can just.
It really is.
It is, and I'm part of that. And I had a gun at that time when I had an argument with my ex-girlfriend, and I disabled my gun. I took everything apart and I gave it to my neighbor before the police came, because I was I was having like a stroke or something from this stupid spice that I was smoking. I don't know. I came back afterwards. I picked my gun up, so obviously I was able to have my gun. But that was years ago, and I lost that gun because I had to pay rent at my last residence, and I put it in pawn. I just couldn't make the payment, so I lost it. So what worries me is that they're able to just say that, oh, like I am crazy or something, and even though I have no violent offenses done. I watched a video on YouTube the other day from High Impact Flicks, and he literally just gave all the proof that this is what's happening right now in Pinellas and Broward after the Parkland shooting. Rick Scott signed the bill 5087, which basically makes it you have to be 21. So if I have a daughter, she can't go to college. Like, what if she's living outside of the college campus and she wants to defend herself? She's not allowed to have a firearm, a rifle. So I wanted to ask this question, and I listened for like 50 minutes. I was hoping I could actually ask him, but
yeah, we apologize for that. We had a few thousand folks.
That's amazing. You know, I don't apologize to me. That's awesome. That means that people are actually engaging the situation, and they actually care, and that means a lot.
I agree with you. Whether you agree with the congressman or not, the fact that
I agree with almost everything he said. Actually, to be honest with you.
Well, no, I'm glad to hear that. I'm saying for all the people that were on the phone, I'm sure everyone that was listening didn't agree with everything you're saying, but the fact that we're engaged is so I agree with your point on
yeah.
that. Certainly. So I apologize that you weren't able to get your question out there and answered. So HR 5087, as I know it, is actually originated in Congress. So I know.
Yeah.
State legislature, they passed their own, gun control measures, and some of which, the congressman, may disagree with. But as far as on the congressional, the Congress side, that bill 5087 was introduced. It's actually an absolute full
assault, quote unquote assault, right? Is that the quote unquote common sense gun measures? Because when the British came to take the cannons in 1776, which originates from the "Don't tread on me, you're not taking my firearms," they came to take it. That's where it all originated, right? So this is the fear I have. Is that they're coming to take the guns, and they clearly are coming to take the guns. They literally are. They are. So I just had to ask a question because made a YouTube video calling the congressman, but I didn't talk to him. I talked to a representative, and she was very, very kind, and she was very much like you, which is amazing. And actually, the first couple of people hung up on me. They actually hung up on me, and they were kind of demeaning in some sort of way. So I contacted I don't think it was your guys' office. I think it was another number I called. But they really didn't want to help me. They said, "Oh yeah, we'll send it off." They were very demeaning, you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry
So
that. We take every comment, like I said, whether you agree with the congressman or not, very seriously. But so that bill was a complete ban, absolute ban on assault rifles. It was introduced by.
What's an assault rifle? Assault is a verb. A rifle can't assault you unless there's a human behind it.
Well, yeah, and there's definitions as to what an assault rifle is. But the congressman, just point blank, he's completely 100% supports Second Amendment rights and doesn't agree with this legislation. That's
why I voted for him.
Yeah, it's only been supported, and the legislation won't see a House vote, but it's only been supported by all the Democratic members of Congress. So
yeah, like Bill Nelson.
Well, it's only in the House Representatives.
Oh, okay.
But Bill Nelson probably would support.
Yeah, he would.
So Congressman Bill Rackus and the rest of his fellow Republican members of Congress have not co-sponsored that legislation, and that legislation will never, see a House floor vote unless we no longer have, the majority in the House.
So, how do you think this plays out? They're taking guns from people when they're not actually committing crimes. In Pinellas, in the county I live in, they're taking guns from people.
Yeah. Well, and that's I know, again, that's a law, that's a state law, and there's probably going to need to be a need to revisit that because I know, as I understood it, the intent was, for folks that the law enforcement that show up to a scene would need to make a determination, and first things first. I think most police officers will tell you that they don't have the the training or qualifications to make a determination on someone's mental state.
Exactly. I mean, nobody does unless they're a psychologist. But this is just ridiculous that it's getting to this point. All right, because our amendments are being wishy-washed. All right. They're being diluted. I mean, our Fourth Amendment's already screwed because the NSA is already recording this conversation currently. I upload my YouTube videos. They strike me down for making a Syria video that was about a false flag. They want to do regime change in Syria. All right, there's not a centralized bank in Syria. The elites want a centralized bank. It's just the whole thing, all right? And everybody call me and say, I don't care what you call me, all right? All I know is what is actually happening. And when people are getting their guns taken with no due process in the county I live in, all right? I can understand Seattle because those dumbasses over there vote for this because they think guns are bad. The most armed cities and counties, legally armed, open or concealed, have the least amount of violence. They have the least amount of crimes, all right? Because if you're not going to commit a crime in a county where you don't know who's armed or not, because you're not going to risk it, all right? This is Pinellas. I never thought this would happen in Florida. So this is very, very jarring to me. It's very jarring. When I watched the video the other day, did he vote for this?
Who?
Bill Rackus?
No, sir. No, it has not received a vote in Congress, this bill.
It was just passed?
No, so again, yeah, so the 5087 is a federal piece of legislation that was introduced. The bill that passed in the state of Florida through the state legislature, the congressman isn't a member of the state legislature. He's a member of federal Congress, so he doesn't have a vote either way on the Florida legislation that you're referring to.
Rick Scott.
When you mentioned 5087, there is a bill, but that's at the federal level that was introduced by a Democrat. It has not been voted on because they don't have enough.
So that wasn't Rick Scott? Rick Scott passed this. Rick Scott allowed it to go through.
They passed their own version of gun control in the state legislature, but
I don't like that word. I don't like that word.
I'm just letting you know that's whatever gun reform, however you want to frame it. The state
people control. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, the Florida state legislature passed their own gun reform bill. Congressman Bill Rackus did not have a vote on that bill.
And he couldn't have a vote on it. Okay.
in the Congress, there was a bill introduced by a Democrat to ban assault weapons, but that will not, as long as Republicans have the majority in the House, that will not be a vote that comes before.
I understand. You're going around the topic. The whole point of my question was for him.
Yes, sir.
Was what is he going to do, and how does he think about them disarming citizens that are legally have not committed a crime just because their neighbor, who might be a crazy leftist, know they have guns? What does he think about that?
He's not in favor of that. In fact, actually, I'm a veteran. I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
God bless you, sir. Thank you so much for...
thank you for saying that.
Thank you, sir.
He actually passed legislation that because there had been a law implemented by the Obama administration that for any veteran who receives disability rating that includes for some type of mental health condition that they aren't able to purchase a weapon. And without any type of due process, it was just connected. If you have a rating for mental health condition, you aren't able to buy a weapon. This is a regulation.
What does that classify as? Because if you look back in history, me personally, you could say that I'm mentally unstable, but I'm not.
Right.
I know I'm not. I work every day. I work 2 jobs. I have two beautiful animals that I come home to, and I live my life. Like, why am I not allowed to protect myself?
Sure, I agree with you. So does Congressman Bill Rackus, which is why he supported legislation to repeal that executive order, and now
God bless.
You're able to. So that just goes to show you that he definitely has concerns with people.
I feel that too. General. I definitely feel that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So, and I'll pass your message on to the congressman, and I'll sort of validate for him that that his constituents support the actions he's taken thus far in Congress. And as far as the state law, I mean, I would encourage you to reach out to your state legislators and let them know how you feel.
Okay. All right. So as Rick Scott's bill that was passed, that like we have a 5-man hit squad team here coming in Pinellas County. Like I haven't had a gun for some time that's registered to me, but maybe I felt like when I watched that video, I would be one that they'd be knocking on the door. Like, and I also know that we just legalized cannabis in a vaping form, which I don't agree with. I agree with legalizing marijuana for people who, I understand that, but it's still federally illegal. It's still a Schedule 1, right up there with the tippy top. They say it has no medical use, which is absolutely ridiculous. Peanuts kill more people a year than marijuana. So obviously, I'm in favor of legalizing marijuana, just like the kratom that I use every day. They're trying to make it illegal. I used to be on painkillers, all right? I used to be on anti-anxiety. I used to be on anti-anxiety medication. I stopped all my medication. I started taking kratom, and as soon as I started taking it, I felt completely better. Like I could have a life. I got a really good job that pays $15 an hour working with animals, this and that, and then they're trying to make it illegal. They're trying to say that people died from it. Nobody has ever died from it. The 15 people they quote has died within the 1,500 years it's been used from Thailand. Every single person has had cocaine, methadone, something in their system. It's never killed anybody directly. And the only reason they want to make it illegal is just like weed, because the pharmaceutical companies. So...
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a completely...
This election woke me up, man. I was not this smart until this election. They really screwed up. I think they really did, because I didn't know anything about all this.
Sure. It's important that people that...
It is. And like you said, there was 1,000 people on the phone last night just in my county, or in the surrounding area. That's amazing. I mean, I heard a lot of from like... I didn't really hear any from Tarpon or Pinellas or Palm Harbor. I heard a lot from like Pasco.
Yeah, there's a lot from Pasco. There was very few. I mean, sometimes we target certain cities and kind of rotate, but some parts of North.
I really appreciate. I did not expect that call whatsoever. It was really good because it makes me feel like I'm actually, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to do what I can, and that made me feel good because when I talked to Bill Arrakis's partner or someone in the office, she was very, very, very kind. She listened to me. We talked for like 30 minutes, and she said she'd pass it on. So maybe that's how my number got put on the list or whatever. I don't know. That kind of creeps me out.
Well, what happens is if you call our office and you ask for a response,
yes,
you want to get a message to the congressman, then we put your information in our
database.
system.
Okay.
It's not connected to any other government agencies. We use a private vendor that we use to capture this information. So that's why you got to call back.
Okay, thank you very much. And is he up for re-election anytime soon? Or I've heard his name for the longest time.
Yeah, every 2 years. So this year he's up for a re-election.
Okay, and I heard him. I've never heard him speak until last night, and I listened for like the whole 50 minutes that you guys called me. I listened.
Oh, good.
He's very much aligned with what I believe in, and it makes me feel really good to have a congressman that actually has my back.
That means a lot.
It's unfortunate that Rick Scott signed or passed that bill that allows them to do that here in Broward and Pinellas County, and hopefully, I don't know.
Just to add a little bit to that, so how it works is, Rick Scott ultimately signed it into law, but it has to pass both the
How are they actually taking guns from people in Pinellas County then?
What I'm saying is, no, the law hasn't passed, but it went through a legislative process where other folks voted for it in order to get to Governor Scott's desk for him to have to sign. So he didn't make the decision to pass the law. It went through the legislative process where other elected officials voted on it and had enough votes for it that it required him to sign it into law. So really his decision, it was basically him having to...
Are you saying Rick?
So, I'm sorry?
Are you saying that about Rick? You're talking about Rick?
Yeah, that's how the legislative process...
So he wasn't the one that created... Okay, yeah. I could get more informed on that, but I just thought that he was the one that actually... he's the governor, so I thought that it went through his hands.
Well, yeah, it eventually got to his desk, but the legislation originated in the legislator. In the House of Representatives and the Senate of the state legislature, and the legislative branch, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't agree with it, and it really frightens me. So,
sure.
Hopefully we can, get that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm really, really, really frightened about our future.
I can assure you that Congressman Bilirakis will continue to protect your Second Amendment rights at the federal government level, and appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the call.
You take care.
You as well, sir. Thank you. God bless you, and thanks for serving our country.
Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it.
God bless you. Wow, guys.
How can you give man verbal abuse? Try come to the hood, had to bust at you. We didn't get touched, but still left juice. It wasn't from us, it must have been you. My Air Force One's got crease brand new, but I'm running from dick, so it's fuck these shoes. You left your mate, that ain't your bruise, that ain't your bae. I beat that.